Welcome back, Scoper Nation. I have a new video for you. This is a little different from things I've been doing before, but I'm going to get into a lot of, a little stuff today. I haven't had a video up for a few weeks now. There is a good reason for that, and if you'd like to know what's going on with the channel and why I haven't published any videos in the last few weeks, stick around to the end of the video and I'll get into all of that later. But for right now, I want to introduce a new segment or show, or I guess it depends on what the context is, but for right now, it's an actual complete separate video. This is something I came up with a concept for months ago, but I haven't had a reason to use it until now. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the Rant block.
Welcome to the channel. This is TechnoScope.
So what's going on today is something that kind of really pissed me off, and that's what this rant is about. If you know anything about me, and if you've seen my videos, if you've seen anything that I do, you know that I put a fair bit of planning into a lot of stuff I do. There's pretty much no moves that I make without, putting a lot of thought into actually doing those moves. And one of the things that I did, let's go back last year. At the end of last year, I think the exact date was November 11th, 2016. The Nintendo Entertainment System Classic, the NES Mini, was released to the world through GameStop, Walmart, Target, all the retail stores. Nobody was allowed to pre-order that system ahead of time. Nintendo just said flat out there would be no pre-orders on this system. Cool. Okay, so I was at Walmart the night that it was being released, about an hour, ahead of the release schedule. And of course, there weren't that many people there because despite Nintendo announcing the NES Mini, most people had forgotten about it by the time it actually released. So there weren't really that many people there, all things considered. By the time I got in line, I was number 7, I believe. By the time the midnight hour came and they were able to sell it, there were, I believe, 14 or 15 people trying to buy one. The next morning, I went to GameStop, which opened at 10 o'clock. They didn't have a release party or anything. There was no kind of early release for it. I was at GameStop. I showed up. I went to Target at 8 in the morning. Target was already packed with people waiting for the store to open. Target opens at 8. So I showed up like 7:50 or something like that. They were already packed. Walmart was already sold out because Walmart sold them at midnight, and Walmart is open 24/7. So my next option was GameStop, which opened at 10 o'clock. They didn't open early or anything. Because I wanted to give away one of the NES Minis, and I did do that on this channel. You can actually see the video that I did about that. I went and stood in line from 8 o'clock until GameStop opened at 10 Central Time, our time. It was probably 10 everywhere, but it was 10 our time. So anyway, the bottom line is I got 2 NES Classics because I planned ahead. I knew what I was going to do. I had a plan of attack. I executed that plan. Going forward to the SNES Classic Edition, I had a plan of attack as well. I was going to attempt to repeat the same things if pre-orders weren't available, knowing that I would have to show up extra early this time because of the great commotion that was made after the NES wasn't available last time. But lo and behold, Nintendo said this time they could do pre-orders. Cool, I don't have to leave the house. I could do it from my living room, or actually my office, I guess, where I'm at now. Unfortunately, nobody knew when pre-orders would go live. Now there was this big thing on Reddit where people were like, "Oh, I think I think they're going to have pre-orders this weekend. It was pretty much the widely adopted assumption that this was the weekend to buy the SNES Classic. I was like, cool. So I'll be watching the internet all weekend long. Going backwards about a month or probably 2 months or whatever it might be, whenever they listed the SNES Classic on Best Buy, Amazon, and GameStop, whenever those listings actually went up, I went to all three websites and I entered my information. I have accounts on all three websites, so I didn't really have to do much, but I told them to send me a notification the moment that pre-orders would be available. And now, the way this typically works is you should get some kind of notification saying this is when you can pre-order it. That didn't happen this time. There was no prior notification. At least one of those, I know Amazon for sure, but at least one of those. I'm not sure about Best Buy and GameStop, but I probably have it set up on there too. But at least Amazon was supposed to send me a text message. Didn't get any text messages. There was no prior warning. Guys, if you don't know by now, the SNES Classic went up for pre-order last night at Best Buy. If you happen to be up at 12:31 about Central Time, you were able to get it if you happen to be looking at Best Buy's website. I was actually up at that time. I was actually on the computer at that time. Had no idea. Amazon decided, hey, we're going to do it too at 4 in the morning Central Standard Time. Seriously, guys, 4 in the morning. Everybody's asleep. Let's go ahead and make pre-orders go live. Really? GameStop just did it not too long ago. They, like sane people, did it during the middle of the day. But I'm sitting here watching their website and nothing is happening. So I go to a different web page. I still have GameStop open in the background. I open a different tab. You see my 49-inch monitor. I can do that. I'm also looking at Barnacle showing his mixer right now. But anyway, I go to another website. I'm looking at stuff. I think I even looked at Barnacle's stream a little bit. I go back to GameStop's website, hit refresh, and all I see is a thing that says we'll be right back. Until then, check out this other webpage, this other website. Apparently, what happened was they went live with the pre-orders, didn't tell anybody. They kind of announced it on Twitter, but after the fact, and the traffic to the website shut it down. So I'm like, what the hell happened? I go through my email. There's not an email from Best Buy. There's not an email from Amazon. There's not an email from GameStop. All three major corporations failed to send me a notification that the system was going up for pre-order with no kind of warning at all. These are three major corporations made for shopping. No notification, no warning that it's about to happen, no alerts, nothing. Zero. I didn't get anything saying that there would be pre-orders or that pre-orders were coming soon or that, hey, pre-orders are live now. On Saturday, out of nowhere, I got a notification that the Xbox One X pre-orders were live. I bought it because I plan to do reviews with that. I'm refocusing this channel back into its roots, which started with Xbox and the PlayStation. I need to have the Xbox One X. I also need to have the SNES Classic. Guys, this is one of those times where planning and being strategic completely failed. There was no way you could plan for this. If you're at work right now, you won't know until you got off work that you got screwed today, or until you watch this video. If you're at home, if you're just now waking up, if you're somebody who sleeps during the day and is awake at night, you're probably waking up to this video finding out that you got screwed. I don't know what happened. They have these systems in place for their most loyal customers to be able to know when something like this is going to happen, and yet they all fail to use it. And I mean, for somebody like me, a tech reviewer, a small time tech reviewer who can't get, a product straight from Nintendo, I don't get the early shipments and stuff. I don't get the free products sent to my PO box. For somebody like me, this is extremely frustrating. Because right now, I'm looking at, maybe if I find that one GameStop hole in the wall that nobody else knows about, maybe I'll be able to get it. They did pre-orders in the store as well, but chances are by now, it's too late for you. So, honestly, guys, I don't know. I really don't know. I was planning to do the same exact thing I did last year. I was going to buy 2 of them. I was going to give one of them away. And I've told this to my friends a lot, but I've never said this on the channel. The first game system I had was the Nintendo Entertainment System. I loved it. The first game I ever played was Atari, Qbert probably. My sister had an Atari. My first game system, and we barely played that, but my first game system that I owned was the original Nintendo Entertainment System. And it was definitely great, and I definitely loved it. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it wrong. I loved that system. But what really changed gaming for me and my life was the Super Nintendo. When the Super Nintendo came out, I was in 4th grade. When that system dropped, it was the thing. It was like, is there anything else you want? My parents asked me for Christmas. No. I can look through everything that you can show me. There's nothing I want more than the Super Nintendo. And they delivered. And in my mind, still to this day, here we are, God, what was I, like 10? I was, 10 years old in 4th grade? So here we are, 25 years later. That's still in my mind the best Christmas I ever had. I didn't get much that Christmas. I mean, the Super Nintendo was expensive. I believe even back then it was like $200, something like that. Excuse me. My parents bought that for me, and everything else was irrelevant. Playing Super Mario World on Super Nintendo for somebody who's coming from Super Mario Brothers and Super Mario Brothers 3 as the best games out there in the world, going to Super Mario World, that was a game changer. This system is what made gaming to my life what it is today. So when they announced, and I knew they were going to do it before they even announced it. So when me and my friend were talking about it, I was like, they're definitely going to have a Super Nintendo version. And we're definitely going to be there to get it. So when they announced it, I already knew what was going to happen. I was going to be there. I was going to buy it. I don't care what's going on in my life. I was going to drop the money, and I'm going to buy the Super Nintendo Classic. And then they screwed everything up. They screwed up all the pre-orders. They screwed up the timing on the pre-orders. They didn't give anybody any notification, no alerts, no warnings, no, suggestions, anything. They just dropped it at random times. You just had to be on the website to get them. So I'm pretty much screwed as far as that goes, unless something between now and the end of September changes. And here we are. What is today? Yesterday was the eclipse, so today is August 22nd. If something doesn't change in the next month, I probably won't even be able to get one. And I seriously doubt now, looking at how things have gone with this pre-order, that there will be any of them available out the door on day one. And if there will probably be people camped out overnight at those stores trying to get one. I can't do that. I have kids, I have responsibilities, and it's just one of those things that can't happen. Now, I heard if you can somehow get to the website, which last I checked right before I started this video, you still couldn't. There are pre-orders online with bundles where they sell you a bunch of crap you don't need or don't want, and you can't return if you pre-order it that way. So be it. I mean, I would still do it, but you can't even get to the website anyway, so it's pointless. It's just frustrating, guys. I've never planned something so well in advance. I mean, we're talking about something that I was planning December of 2016, and here we are on the verge of it coming out, and I have no plan of attack. There's nothing I can do. You would think these major corporations, these billions upon billions of dollars per year corporations, are rookies at this, and they've never done this before. The Xbox One X, I didn't even really expect to sell it. I was surprised. It actually sold out. I was expecting that one to actually be available day one because the system is $500 with no games. But even the Xbox One X sold out. So you would think they would have this down and they would know how to do it by now, but apparently not. But anyway, let's end the rant block, and I'll go on to telling you what's been happening with this channel. So you see this microphone right here next to me. There's another one right here, and there's another one right here. There's this amplifier right here. This is a headphone amplifier. Over the last 3 weeks, I have been working day and night to basically relaunch my sports YouTube channel called #Champs. If you're interested in checking it out or going to subscribe to it, it's #champs.tv. The reason I've been so busy and haven't been making videos for this channel is because, much like when I kicked off Technoscope, there's a lot of stuff that you have to get in line and get straightened out whenever you launch a new channel. I had to redo all the graphics on there. I had to make sure all the links line up, make sure everything on my webpage, TwistedCurve.com, make sure that all that lines up with it. And we kicked off a brand new podcast. Now, the podcast isn't mine, but I'm producing it. The podcast itself belongs to a couple friends or a few friends that I went to, middle school and high school with. So they're running this podcast called The Sports Cave. Now, we both had needs. I'm not actually hosting any of the shows that will be on #Champs. I'm just producing that channel. But to get the channel rolling, I wanted to get a podcast going on there. Now, I have all this equipment, but not a podcast. And they have a podcast, but not all this equipment. So we put our efforts together, and the Sports Cave has launched on #Champs TV. They got me saying it. #champs.tv. Type in that URL, it takes you to the webpage. Their podcast, The Sports Cave, is now live on there. You can also type in thesportscave.live if you want to go straight to their playlist. And also, I actually have it syndicated now on iTunes and Google Play Music. So if you're into sports, and even if you can't watch the podcast, you can listen to it. iTunes.thesportscave.live or play.thesportscave.live. If you're interested in it, go check all that stuff out. But basically, that's why I've been busy, so busy almost the last month. And it has a small audience right now. It's getting pretty decent, probably about 80 to 100 views, something like that, per video. We've done 4 podcasts so far. That's actually pretty good considering when we started and how things are going. I remember the early Technoscope days when Technoscope was doing videos. They were getting like 80 to 100 views. It wasn't until I did that video on the Xbox One hard drive that the channel actually took off. And if you don't know this, if you've seen that video and you don't know this, that video was up for a month, a full month before it took off. It had 800 views after a month. It was by far my most successful video to that point. And then at the end of, I think it was July going into early August, they had, Microsoft had an event. I'm not sure if it was E3 or something, but they had an event where they announced all these new games that were coming out, and they announced one really big new feature, which was the ability to play Xbox 360 games and backwards compatibility. All of a sudden, everybody wanted storage for their 500 gigabyte Xboxes, and the number one video happened to be mine. And my channel grew from, I think it was 100. No, yeah, it was just right around 100 subscribers, and a good probably 80 of those were friends. Grew from that 100 to well over a couple thousand in the next 2 or 3 months. That was impressive. That was impressive. I'm sorry, I'm reminiscing, but anyway, the point is, the Sports Cave and Hashtag Champs is a very young channel, and I needed to work to get everything in a row on that channel so that things ran smoothly or are running smoothly, without me going in and having to seriously rework everything every time we upload or do something. So right now I have all this equipment around me, headphones, microphones, and all kinds of stuff. Part of the problem is I don't want to take this stuff down, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be disassembling this every single week or just leaving it put up and do my videos here. One of the things I wanted with this office is the ability to leave my setup where it is. I do not want to take this down every day because that discourages me from actually making videos when I have to put everything away and get it out and put it all back together and do that every single day. It takes a lot of time. Let's see, we're at 24 minutes. Okay. So anyway, that's what I've been busy with. It's running like it's running smooth as praying like a kitten right now. I need to get those sayings down because I'm failing at them right now. Everything is running smoothly on that channel right now. So what happens is we do a live broadcast Sunday mornings at 9:30 a.m. 9:30 a.m. Central Time, by the way. And you could come in. You can chat with us. I've even set this up so that we can take phone calls. There's a phone number that I put up during the show, and you can actually call in and talk to us about whatever your passion is on sports or whatever. Be part of the show if you want to. So I mean, it's all set up and smooth, ready to go. So we record those Sunday mornings, 9:30 Central Time. We're doing live stream at the same time. After the live stream link is hidden. It's not private or anything. You can still get to it if you have it. But the link is hidden and the video is hidden. And I take the recorded version, do the post-processing, and then upload that, and the podcast goes live on Monday mornings, as well as the audio version on iTunes and Play Music. So all that's scheduled, and it just goes live. It's all like clockwork, which is something I kind of want for this channel. Still working on getting the podcast for Technoscope down. The good thing that has come out of this is now that I have things like this headphone amplifier, these headphones and the microphones and all that stuff, everything's in place. All I have to do is get some guys come in here, we sit down and start talking about tech, and we're ready to go. It's all in place now. So that is something that's going to help this channel as well. But anyway, I just kind of want to let you know what's going on with that. I kind of want to let you know that I was pissed off at everybody in the world because my SNES Classic is not reserved and not pre-ordered right now. So, don't think there's anything further to talk about other than I need to get back to work on this channel. My next big review video is over my brand new router. That is a big project. It's been in the works for weeks, just trying to get the script and structure down. But I am working on that video, and then I have a lot of little videos that I'm going to be pushing out to get my queue cleared out, because there's a lot of little stuff over there that needs to be reviewed as well. But anyway, guys, support the channel. If I put up a link to buy something and you watch my video and you really like it and you want to buy the product, please use my links. Please. If you've been following the channel, you know that prior to me moving here, there was this downtime of about 4 or 5 months where I really didn't do anything. I guess it wasn't that long, but it seemed like it. But right now, because of the way that affiliate revenue works, I'm in the lows of that right now. So I am literally making $0 right now. There is no income whatsoever. There's a lot of money going out because I had to buy all the stuff for the podcast stuff, but there's no money coming in right now other than some money that a couple of guys are donating on Patreon. By the way, there is going to be a Patreon video because I need to clarify. I need to really spell out how that's going to work. If you donate to Patreon, if you're one of the first 10 to 20 people, let's just say 10 people for Rant. The first 10 people that do sign up for Patreon for my channel are going to get their name permanently placed on a plaque that's going to hang up in this office. And when I go to bigger offices and other things down the road, it's going to come with me and always be front and center for the company. But I'll be making a video about that. But anyway, guys, I don't think there's anything else to say right now, but just keep a watch out for those videos. Once that router video gets out of the way, there's going to be a lot of them just coming left and right. So anyway, hope you have a good day. If you were able to get an SNES Classic, let me know down below. If you're pissed off about it like I am, let me know that down below as well. And I'll see you in the next video. Like, subscribe, and Scoper Nation. I'll see you later.
TechnoScope is a Twisted Curve production.